Is hip hop dead?
Let's talk about that.
Let's.
Alright guys, welcome back. Ramon. Eric isn't with us today because he had to work today. So I found a substitution for him today. It's Shy City native, Fort Worth rapper, Shy City Angel.
What's up?
And today, since we have a rapper with us, right, we're going to talk about something hip-hop related. And the question today is hip-hop really dead? Or are people just living in nostalgia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what is your take on this? Do you think hip-hop is dead, or people just want something that's old and can move towards the new?
Hip-hop's not dead. People just want to hear that old school stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Classics, but it takes time. It takes time for music to be a classic, you know, to be classics. So people can't just say hip hop is dead because it's not dead. There's just some rappers too that make old school music, so that old school feel.
You see, and I understand where you're coming from. And personally, me, I don't think hip hop is dead. I think hip hop has evolved. You know, back then rappers don't have that much talent like rappers have these days.
Yep.
You know, rappers these days have flow. They have punchlines, and they have to match the beat, and they have to have high production. So you have to have skill to do all that. Back then, you just got on the mic and spat. Now, there's a difference from old and new.
Yep.
On the old, you have to have feeling behind it.
Yeah.
Like, people be like, oh, this motherfucker's saying bullshit that doesn't correlate with his life. And now people just want to make sure you kill the beat.
Yep. You can be lying and stuff, and they just want to hear it.
Yeah, they just want to hear you kill the beat, and that's where I personally prefer the new era of hip hop, because everything has to move along.
Yeah, evolve. Everything has to evolve.
Evolve. Like rock music, it isn't what it used to be anymore. Mm-hmm. But you don't see rock. Well, maybe there is, but like rock fanatics. They bitch about the old days, like Nirvana and all that, and Guns N' Roses. That's how you pronounce it, right? And that rock has changed. Of course, it's changed. You know, every music genre changes, but it changes because people want it to. You know.
Yeah, new generation of kids, you know, make new music.
Yeah, because
changes.
Like, people that talk about, oh, this isn't old school anymore. Yeah. They're like 30, 40, in their 20s, and that's because that's what you like. Like, you know, there's a reason why kids nowadays think Call of Duty is better than Mario Bros.
Yeah, which is not true.
It's because they grew up with Mario, the old people.
Yeah.
And the kids grew up with Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto. I mean, the reason I don't like Mario and Luigi is because I didn't grow up with that. I grew up in the PlayStation era.
Yeah, me too.
Where I had Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter. And now I look at that and I'm like, why can't games be like that?
I know.
Anymore. Why can't games be platformers, 3D platformers anymore? Now we got nothing but shooters. But that's just because that's where I came from, you know?
And that's what everybody wants nowadays, is shooting games, you know? And fighting games like that.
And that's because that's where we're at.
Yep,
you know,
trend.
It's a trend because, like, we move to what's happening in real life. Yep. We're fighting a bunch of wars. There's a bunch of shootings. So that correlates with what we do.
Mm-hmm. It's what we see on the news and stuff. Like, oh, cool, you know, little kids, I want to shoot too.
Yeah, and so they play games, they watch movies, they go with that. So we move with the seasons, you know? Mm-hmm. You know, we live, the old is there to relive.
Yeah.
Out with the old, in with the new.
Yep.
If you want to listen to the old,
go listen to it.
Go listen to the old. I mean, there's rappers these days that are totally old school. Like, Joey Badass. I mean, he keeps it old school, but there's a reason why he's not popular.
He's popular.
Not to the hip hop standard or music standard. Of course, he's underground popular, but he's not popular as in your homies are listening to him, and then this homies are listening to him. There's like
mainstream wise.
Yeah, there's certain people that listen to him, and there's certain people that don't. Yeah. And that's because he tries to keep it old school.
Yeah.
You know, there's people that are like, oh, fool, I'm a jam to this guy for a bit. Mm-hmm. You know, but once you're at a party, you're with your homeboys, you're driving down the road, you're not gonna put a song that's out of style.
Yeah,
because that's out of style.
I want something to turn up to.
Yeah, they want some
new music nowadays.
the music that's in now. It's in now because that's what we like, you know.
Yeah.
Now artists are starting to tire the techno in music. Like every new pop song has a techno beat behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, people are gonna move away from that because it's so much now that people
It gets old though. It does get old.
Yeah, that people just.
But I get
don't
the
like
the old school music didn't get that old. You know, you can listen to it and you can't really get tired of it because it's
sometimes depends the song.
I guess. But like the new school stuff, it's all good and stuff, but like it gets old quick. It sounds repetitive and stuff, and it's just like.
Because, when I read old lyrics, and then I read new lyrics, honestly, new lyrics are much better than the old
Much
lyrics.
better.
Much more sophisticated. Even if people are like, oh no, there's not that much heart behind it. Oh no, they're not long enough. They don't put any sense to it. Honestly, in pop music, it's always been the same.
Yep.
It's never gonna change. It's always gonna be I love you, you love me, I miss you, you miss me. You know, pop hasn't gotten worse. It hasn't gotten better. It's the same crap as always been and always will be. But in rap music, lyrics have gotten better from, you know, yip yip. I mean, hip hop hooray.
Yeah.
To
It's gotten way more creative.
More creative, yeah. It's a tool to be creative.
Yeah.
And
rappers nowadays just say like, you know, catchy ass stuff and punchlines, and it's cool. You know, it's cool to listen to. It's different. It's more creative.
See, and that's what people like.
Want to
that.
hear that. Yeah.
If you stay with the old, your fan base is gonna be much more old, and they're gonna die off much earlier. Not literally, but I mean, like you're gonna die off much faster than somebody that's trying to keep up with the trends.
So you're saying that if you do old school music, or you do like that old school '90s feel music, you have a bunch of old fans, such like 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds.
You're not gonna.
They're gonna die off. They're gonna be like 65 and get a heart attack and die off.
No, I mean.
And then you're saying that's what you're saying, and then they're gonna be 65, they're gonna die off, and you're gonna have no more fans again.
No, I'm saying that you're not gonna take off because that's not what.
You're not gonna grow.
You're not gonna grow at all. You're just gonna stay in the same minimum. You know.
Yeah.
Because, like. You know, you're trying to cop the style of back in the 90s, you know?
Yeah.
That's good, you know, you're doing your thing, and that's what matters. You're doing what you do. But there's a difference from doing what you do and doing what's in and being yourself. Like sometimes you just follow those steps.
Yeah.
So you can be like, yeah, so hip hop enthusiasts or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
Can be like, oh yeah, he's trying to have the old school feel. But there's reasons why now I'll give you an example right now. We have Mobb Deep, or let's say Prodigy and Nas. They're trying to keep their music at a constant. Their popularity has shot down dramatically.
It has.
Now Eminem and Jay-Z, they evolve with the times.
Yeah.
And they're super old rappers.
You can see with the new albums, there are like those beats they got.
Yeah, they evolve.
Their flows and stuff.
They move.
Personally, I don't like it, but
you see, and that's where you get a hip hop enthusiast that wants to keep everything back the same. Now, their new music is much better than their old. Not in the Eminem, because Eminem, let's keep it Slim Shady, you know. Now you see, that's where I'm starting to get, you know, my nostalgia from, because that's what I grew up with. Because I grew up listening to, you know, back whenever Aftermath and Rockefeller was like the big thing.
Yeah.
And then 50 Cent was fighting with the Game. And then what was that other thing? Eminem and those clowns. The clown rappers. You remember that stuff?
Yeah.
When all that stuff was happening, and those are the rappers I still listen to, and I'm like, when are they going to release a new song? When are they going to drop a track? When is Kanye going to stop being a dick?
So,
you know?
Nas and Jay-Z.
And when's Jay-Z and Nas going to drop a new song? Because, you know, they're homeboys.
They're homeboys now.
But now we have Kendrick. Now we have, name some rappers I can't think of.
J. Cole.
Yeah, Kendrick, J. Cole. We have Joey Badass. We have Big Sean. We have all
Big
these.
Crit, all these other rappers.
You see, yeah, we have all these new rappers, and it's just how things go, you know. Times change, people change, styles change, music changes, and it doesn't get worse. It's just it becomes what people want it to be.
Yeah, it's just different.
It's just
It just
different.
gets different. Yeah.
Because what people got turned up in the 30s with is not going to be the same thing people get turned up in the 50s. Because I'm pretty sure people in the 90s were like, why can't hip hop be like whenever Run DMC was running it, you know?
Yeah.
That's exactly what people you probably used to say. Like, why can't hip hop be like when Run DMC and then Tupac came along, and then those people, that era of Tupac and Biggie and Jay-Z, Nas, and all those people were, and then they'll see hip hop now, which is technically our age group, you know, 18 to 24, or like, why can't hip hop be like back then, you know?
Yeah.
And then this new generation is gonna actually, we're the generation of 50 Cent, The Game, Eminem, and Aftermath.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be like, why can't hip hop now be like, you know, back then, like back in the 2000s, and it's just gonna keep going and keep going and keep going, and this is gonna be an endless cycle, you know.
Music's gonna get much more simpler though. I think much more simpler. Because nowadays you can make a quick beat in like an hour, and it can be a simple beat that you've already heard of. It'll be super similar to stuff on the radio, you know, radio style or whatever.
I honestly think
And then-
music is gonna have less vocals on it as we
Yeah, I think so,
progress, because the future is coming. Jesus. No, but yeah, the future is coming, and eventually we're gonna have less voice in our music, other than, you know, indie artists that, you know, there's a guy playing the guitar, and then, you know, he sings on the mic, and he gets popular off of YouTube or popular off of a website, and a rapper, you know, makes a beat on FL Studio, and he gets on the mic and he raps his heart out. You know, that's always gonna be there. That's how indie artists are gonna be.
Yeah.
But music is always changing, and that's why hip hop isn't dead. Hip hop is evolving.
Yes.
If you want the old hip hop,
Go listen to it.
listen to the old hip
It's on
hop.
YouTube. you know?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Nas, Jay-Z, Tupac, Biggie, Eazy-E, Ice Cube. We have a Snoop Dogg, not Snoop Lion though.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg. But so yeah, hip hop isn't dead. Go listen to the old hip hop or listen to the underground rappers. There are like old school hip hop, you know, like my homie right here, keeping the '90s, of course.
Somewhat, yeah.
Somewhat, you know, there's songs where he makes the beat go wow.
My
But,
favorite's always gonna be like that old school stuff, you know.
yeah, and I
Like the old school beats, I just love them, you know, just so.
And I'm in with the new.
Just gets you.
Childish Gambino, Woody Allen. You know, I just pump it highway.
Yeah.
Turn up the stereo. No? Okay. Well, anyways, I'm Fernando, and this isn't Eric. This is Shot City Angel. Click on his face if you want to check out his channel. You have 5 seconds. And, well, thanks for watching.
Yep, I think that's it.
See you guys next week, where we, eat a pig alive.
Flying one.